After 14 years on death row, Carla Faye Tucker was executed by lethal injection in Texas. She was just 38 years old. But her story wasn't like most death row cases. She wasn't just the first woman executed in Texas in over 130 years. She also became a symbol of redemption for some and a chilling reminder of brutality for others. This is the story of Carla Faye Tucker, from her troubled childhood to a shocking double murder, a controversial trial, her transformation behind bars, and finally, her execution that divided a nation. Carla was born on November 18, 1959, in Houston, Texas, the youngest of 3 daughters. From the start, her childhood was unstable. Her parents divorced when she was young, and her mother, Carolyn, struggled to raise her children alone. By age 8, Carla's life had already taken a dark turn. She began experimenting with drugs and alcohol, and by 12, she was smoking marijuana regularly. At 14, she was following her mother to biker bars and strip clubs, exposed to an adult world far too early. Carla later said she felt abandoned and unloved as a child, often craving attention and falling in with dangerous crowds. She dropped out of school, became rebellious, and by her mid-teens, she was fully immersed in Houston's biker and drug scene. In the late 1970s and early 80s, Houston had a thriving biker subculture, a mix of motorcycles, drugs, and violence. It was a world where meth, cocaine, and pills flowed freely, and loyalty was earned through toughness. Carla quickly adapted to this lifestyle. By her early 20s, she was heavily dependent on drugs, bouncing between relationships with bikers, and earning a reputation as someone wild and unpredictable. It was in this world that she met Danny Garrett, a man almost twice her age. Danny was deeply entrenched in the biker and drug scene. To Carla, he represented excitement, danger, and protection. But their relationship would prove deadly. In June of 1983, Carla and Danny attended a party at the home of Carla's sister. What started as a birthday gathering spiraled into a multi-day drug binge. For 3 days, they barely slept, constantly using meth and alcohol. One of the people at that party was Shawn Dean, who had recently left her husband, Jerry Dean, a man known to be abusive and controlling. Jerry also owed Danny money for drugs. During the haze of that party, Danny and Carla hatched a plan. They would go to Jerry's apartment, confront him, and take what they believed he owed them. But what started as a plan to scare and rob Jerry Dean would become one of the most brutal double murders Texas had ever seen. In the early hours of June 13, 1983, Carla and Danny drove to Jerry Dean's apartment. Carla had a key given to her by Shawn Dean. Jerry was asleep in a spare bedroom. Carla later said she climbed on top of him, holding a pickaxe near his face, telling him not to move. But Jerry resisted. A violent struggle broke out. Danny struck him with a hammer, and Carla swung the pickaxe over and over again. Jerry cried out for his life, but the attack continued until he was dead. Then an unexpected discovery: a woman hiding in the bed. It was 32-year-old Deborah Thornton, who had spent the night at Jerry's apartment. Carla turned on her too. In a frenzy, she drove the pickaxe into Deborah repeatedly until the handle stuck in her chest. Danny delivered the final blow, leaving the weapon lodged in her throat. Afterward, they looted the apartment, stole Jerry's motorcycle and car, and fled into the night. In the days that followed, Carla bragged to friends about the killings. She admitted that with each swing of the pickaxe, she felt excitement. She even claimed she reached a kind of twisted satisfaction. These words would later return to haunt her in court. For weeks, police struggled to find leads. But the case broke open when Danny's brother came forward, saying both Danny and Carla had bragged about the murders. Investigators set up a wiretap, catching Carla and Danny casually describing the crime. Armed with this evidence, police arrested them in September 1983. Carla's trial was a media spectacle. A young, attractive woman accused of such brutal killings was rare and shocking in Texas at the time. The most damaging evidence came from her own mouth. Carla took the stand and admitted she had enjoyed the murders, smiling with each swing of the pickaxe. The jury didn't hesitate. In 1984, Carla Faye Tucker was convicted of capital murder and sentenced to death. Danny Garrett received the same fate, though he died of natural causes in prison years before his execution date. At first, Carla's time in prison looked like it would follow the same destructive path. She continued her rebellious behavior, fighting with guards and other inmates. But then, something unexpected happened. A prison ministry group visited, giving her a Bible. Out of boredom, Carla began to read it. Over time, she said she felt a spiritual awakening. She embraced Christianity fully, becoming deeply involved in ministry. She counseled other inmates, gave televised interviews, and shocked the public with her calm, reflective demeanor. By the 1990s, she had become a very different woman from the one who wielded that pickaxe. In 1995, she married prison chaplain Reverend Dana Brown in a proxy ceremony. Their relationship symbolized her complete transformation in the eyes of her supporters. As her execution date drew near, her case ignited global debate. Religious leaders, human rights activists, and even the Pope petitioned Texas officials to spare her life. The brother of victim Deborah Thornton, who once demanded her execution, publicly pleaded for mercy. He believed Carla had changed and should be allowed to live. But the state of Texas remained firm. Then Governor George W. Bush faced intense pressure as the world watched his decision. Ultimately, Bush refused clemency, stating that while her transformation might be genuine, her crime had been too brutal to overlook. On February 3, 1998, Carla Faye Tucker was moved to the Huntsville unit. For her final meal, she requested a banana, a peach, and a salad with ranch dressing. When strapped to the gurney, she turned to the families of her victims. Through tears, she said, "I am so sorry. I hope God gives you peace with this. I love you all very much. I will see you when you get there." At 6:45 p.m., the drugs flowed into her veins. Carla Faye Tucker was pronounced dead. The execution sparked a heated debate worldwide. To some, Texas had upheld justice, proving that no one was above the law, not even a woman who claimed redemption. To others, it was a moral failure. The state had killed someone who had truly changed. Carla Faye Tucker's case remains one of the most famous and controversial executions in American history. Her story forces us to ask hard questions. Can people truly change? And if they can, should redemption matter when justice is being served? What do you think? Was Carla Faye Tucker's execution justice served, or was it mercy denied? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and while you're here, hit subscribe so you're part of the discussion every day.